Welcome to the Temple of Elemental Evil, Episode 16.
I am Dreadmore, your dungeon master. Join us each week as my real-life players adventure through the Temple of Elemental Evil module. Here are the characters that are battling the evil in this classic Greyhawk adventure. Nyraxis, a 4th level infernal Tiefling draconic sorcerer. Malik, a 4th level cleric of Palor, who follows the life domain. Dusty Slay, a 4th level Gloomstalker ranger of the gnarly forest. Octavius, a 4th level stone giant Goliath wizard evoker. Cantor, a 4th level orc monk. He is a warrior of the elements. Gothox, a 4th level cloud giant Goliath druid, who belongs to the druid order called the Circle of the Land. Let's continue our story. The chapter title for this week is The Calm Before the Storm. We last left our heroes with a great dawn of choices. They had captured a pirate and an assassin, and were still searching for Nyraxis, who had gone missing. Malik and Octavius find Nyraxis lying in a pool of blood on the warehouse floor of the boatman's tavern and market. A closer look confirms Nyraxis is dead. Octavius lifts the body, and the group returns to the bar area. Back at the tavern, Malik checks the status of the 10 pirates who lay wounded on the floor. Only one can be saved. The others are beyond the cleric of Pellar's healing touch. Malik heals the surviving pirate and tells him to inform Tolub that their actions were not intentional. Skoll, the boatman's tavern and market owner, approaches with 3 armored men bearing short swords. They stand ready for anything. Skoll warns the party to leave to avoid more bloodshed. The adventurers agree and hurry to the stables owned by Otis. They gather their 2 horses and wagons, and inform Otis that they have blown their cover in Nob and are heading for Hommlet immediately. They also tell the Riverhounds to come with them if they want to live. Pete and the Riverhounds accept and hop onto one of the carts. 2 days later, they arrive in Hommlet and take Nyraxis to St. Cuthbert's Church to purchase a raised dead scroll. Canon Turjon, the chief cleric, offers a discount if the heroes will help locate a relic stolen from the church. The relic is known as the Amulet of Divine Justice. A group of bandits broke into the sacred house of worship and fled with the amulet. Elmo, a ranger from Hommlet, tracked them to Nulb. The party checks into the Inn of the Welcoming Winch for 2 days, giving Nyraxis time to heal before they travel north again. The prisoners refuse to talk, so Malik casts Detect Thoughts on the assassin after Nyraxis softens his will with a Mind Sliver spell. The assassin fails his save, and Malik sees a memory of the assassin kneeling before a powerful-looking priest in full plate. The assassin looked up to the man and said, "Hedrak, I am here to serve. I will be of service." The priest, Hedrak, reveals that spies in Hommlet reported that a group of heroes have defeated Lareth the Beautiful, and have stolen his armor, an expensive golden necklace, and a magical staff of striking. Hedrak orders the assassin to kill these men and return those items. The killer answers, "Consider it done." On the 2nd day of interrogations, Malik's Detect Thoughts reveals that the pirate once carried slaves to the mayor's house in Nulb. Meanwhile, Dusty and Gothox take Pete and the Riverhounds to Giroux's house. They plead for help rehabilitating the young men into agents of good, and Jeru agrees with honor. The heroes press Pete and the River Hounds for their meet-up spot, the weekly relay point for information with their former employer. Pete describes a dirt road beside an old outhouse once used by occupants of a ruined farmhouse. A brown-robed man who waits near the outhouse at midday is the contact. From there, the party travels along the high road north towards the described location. They stop a few miles out, deciding to scout with the druid's hawk form. Gothok's shape shifts into a hawk and flies over the area, spotting an evil temple, a half-destroyed tower with guards coming and going, and an isolated farmhouse with a barn, about a mile from the supposed meet-up spot. Gothok perches on a branch and scouts the farmhouse, but an arrow from a hungry gnoll strikes him. He retreats to the party's location and relays the findings. The adventurers approach the meeting spot using a Trojan horse tactic. Nyraxis casts Alter Self to become a look-alike of Pete, while Dusty casts Disguise Self to resemble Tommy, one of the River Hounds. The two ride at the front of the wagon, while Malik, Cantor, Gothox, and Octavius hide under the wagon's tarp, ready to strike. As they ride up, a brown-robed man stands with 3 gnolls. Nyraxis, disguised as Pete, dismounts and approaches the robed man. The stranger asks what information he has. Pete claims that Gnoll was attacked, and that the River Hound stole the attacker's horse and carriage from the stables. The robed fanatic says he heard information that River Hounds aided the group that attacked the pirates at the Boatman's Tavern. That's when the wagon's tarp falls away, revealing the hidden heroes. Combat erupts. Nyraxis, in Pete's guise, casts a witch bolt spell on the robed fanatic, delivering a critical strike that kills him instantly from massive electrical damage. Cantor unleashes a flurry of blows on one gnoll, putting him near death. Dusty, in Tommy's guise, casts Hunter's Mark on the closest gnoll and finishes him with 2 well-placed great axe strikes. Octavius casts Sleep on the other 2 gnolls. Both fail their first initial save and become incapacitated. The party waits to see the spell's effect on the remaining 2 gnolls. One falls into a deep slumber while the other wakes from the effect and claws at Cantor, missing him with his rake attack. Cantor finishes him off with an elemental strike. The final gnoll is awakened by the party for interrogation and resists Malik's Detect Thought spell. Dusty speaks with the gnoll in Goblin, learning that they guard this area for the Earth Temple. Dusty mentions the Ring Fort and the Broken Fangs tribe. The gnoll recognizes Dusty's knowledge of his people. The gnoll shares that the robed fanatic comes and goes by the well at the old farmhouse. The parley then turns violent as the gnoll lunges at Dusty with his claws. But the party quickly overwhelms him, putting him down for good. Our adventurers then traveled into a secluded area that has an old farmhouse and a barn. Smoke can be seen coming out of the chimney of the farmhouse. They rode their wagon up to the front of the house, and Malik walked up and knocked on the front door that was locked. No one answered his knock, so Dusty successfully picked the lock. He then slowly opened the door to reveal a living area that was vacant of people. Cantor decided to enter the house. After a short walk inside, he then saw 5 figures hiding around the home, ready for an ambush. Cantor then moved out of the house and relayed what he saw to the party. Dusty then entered the farmhouse and cast a fog spell into the area where the ambushers hid. Dusty ran into the fog and with his blind sight, cut down one of the now blinded ambushers. Cantor then re-entered the farmhouse and blindly entered the room with the fog. Gothok's shape shifted into a tiny spider and crawled onto the house and made his way towards an open window. Malik, Octavius, and Nyraxis held positions outside the house. Malik went into a defensive posture. while Octavius and Nyraxis readied magic attacks for any enemies who would exit the old farmhouse. This ends this week's episode. What will our heroes find in the isolated farmhouse and barn? Where could the well lead then? Tune in next week to find out. Join us next week for episode 17 of the Temple of Elemental Evil module.